Can you remember a time when someone hurt you, lacked sensitivity, or acted like a creep to you? Do you remember those feelings that went through you? Contest master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, forgiveness is powerful. Forgiveness will strengthen your relationships. And when you fail to practice forgiveness, you will have irritation, be bitter, and be torn apart. Family, mentors, faith will inspire you to practice the fine art of forgiveness. It was just last week when I did it again. My wife, she was running behind my intended schedule for getting the children to school on time. Rather than waiting patiently or perhaps stepping in to change a poopy diaper to help, I decided to do what I do best. I spoke. This time, I speculated out loud how many minutes she could save if she would just follow my system for planning. I could tell she was not impressed with my calculations, and I could see by the look on her face that I had crushed her spirit. Very smooth, Dale. I realized too late. Very constructive. You would think a teacher, a leader, someone called to speak in positive, uplifting, encouraging words could have thought of something better to say at the moment. Fortunately, my wife, once again, smoothed over my words with a layer of forgiveness, patiently helping me see what was wrong with them. Do you think my wife forgave me too quickly? She's been forgiving me since our wedding day. That was a day that had a forecast for rain that had turned out sunny. We had overcome my dad showing up and his first words to my bride being, "Where's the food? I'm hungry." We recovered from my mother bringing my bride a cake. This day was also my birthday. And we had scheduled the vows just in time to see the kickoff of the 1996 Penn State Badger game. Everything was going perfect. I wasn't much of a public speaker at that time, so I wrote my notes for my vows on a card. I, Dale Suslick, do take you, Dale Suslick, to love, honor... Wrong card. People close to you will inspire you to practice the fine art of forgiveness. When you have to forgive people, what do? You and I, we tend to say that when they ask for forgiveness, I'll give it. That time heals all wounds. If I forgive them, they'll just do it again. When all that's taken care of, then I'll forgive. I've discovered people normally don't come to me and ask for forgiveness. That time doesn't heal all wounds. And yes, when you forgive, people often do it again. Just ask my wife. I often go to my mentor and complain to him about what my wife, children, or people have done to me. His response is normally, "So what? What have you done today that requires forgiveness?" How do you argue with that? He reminds me that we all hurt one another, act like a creep sometime, and lack sensitivity. He tells me this story, a 2,000-year-old story of a speck and a log, and how I'm walking around carrying this railroad tie in my eye. And the railroad tie represents everything I've done that needs forgiveness. And yet somehow, from across the room while I'm watching ESPN, I can see the speck of sawdust in my wife's eye, and I move over to help her, whacking her in the head with my railroad tie. The mere approach of me causes her pain. Mentors inspire you to practice the fine art of forgiveness. There was this time that we had a tree fall down in our yard, and I decided to make an afternoon out of it by bringing the kids outside to help me. Being a man, I was quite focused on my task, and I was getting it done. I must have stopped for a moment because I noticed it was quiet. Too quiet. And if you have children, you understand that the moment you discover it too quiet is the same moment that the quiet ends. Whack! Whack! If you go out to the parking lot today, you'll find my Z71 black off-road Tahoe with a row of dents along the driver's side. That's because as I rounded the corner, I found my son, Caden, then two, in the garage with a hammer and a Tahoe. As I kneeled down to ask him for the hammer back, I remembered our rule in our family for spilt milk. We always say, first spill of the day. Having 5 children teaches you to say, first car dent of the day. Children will inspire you to practice the fine art of forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't come without a cost. And forgiveness doesn't stop you from setting boundaries to protect yourself. My mother, she's not allowed to bring cake. Ever. My dad, he has to eat before he shows up. Forgiveness will take people that are in open warfare over toilet seats, toothpaste tubes, and who had the worst day, and bring them into a higher, noble truth. You need to practice the fine art of forgiveness. Today, if it hasn't happened already, somebody will hurt you. Someone will act like a creep to you, and someone will lack sensitivity. Gandhi says that you are the strong one when you forgive. James MacDonald says that forgiveness removes irritation from life. Family, mentors, faith inspire you to practice the fine art of forgiveness. Mr. Contest Master,